Nice.
So I'd not only written the next book, but I'd written several more books. Like by having contracts for the next projects, I was just focused on doing the next projects, not on how each one did. And then with this 4-book series, it's kind of been the same thing. Like in 2019, I basically locked myself in till 2024, 2025. So basically like the next 4 or 5 years of my thing were locked in. So again, the downside is Courage came out, it did okay. Discipline came out, it did spectacular. So maybe I could have sold Justice for more. But all of that was irrelevant because I was just in the middle of writing the book. And I think it's better to be chopping wood and carrying water than constantly renegotiating your rate for what you are going to chop wood and carry water for, or whatever. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like to just have the next thing. So, if your thing is I make a video every week, you are already making the next video before one comes out.
Yeah.
Right? A comedian comes up with an hour, records the hour, then there is time before that hour comes out. And it's in that interim period that they're already working on the next hour. Yeah. So if the special comes out and it's a huge hit, they're working on the next hour. If the special comes out and it's not a huge hit, they're working on the next special. Mm-hmm. And you want to be in a rhythm like that because it insulates you from the thing that's not in your control, which is whether other people say you're amazing or whether other people say you suck.
Yeah, I feel like all of this stuff comes back down to the process. And a big part of what we talk about in that book is trying to find a way to make the process enjoyable and energizing. And I find that when I have that at the front of my mind when it comes to the videos or even writing the book, like there were periods in the book journey where I sort of forgot to enjoy the process because the seriousness of writing a book was like weighing on me. And then I would read one of your newsletter or one of your books or like Drive by Dan Pink. And I'm like, oh, it's so good. This stuff is so good. And I'd be comparing it to my first draft and be like, why is my writing so shit? And it would take my editor to remind me that, like the whole message of the book is find a way to make it enjoyable and energizing. So,
Well, it's hard if people say trust the process, right? But it's hard to trust a process that you have not been through before. And so once you've done it one time, you have a sense of the full scope of the process or what you think is a full scope of the process. Then you do it again and again and again, and you start to go, oh yeah, this is the part where you start to doubt yourself. This is the part where you get excited, but like in Texas, we have this season, it's called False Fall. So it's cool and awesome right here. It'll probably get hot again, right? Like we think the summer's finally broken, but there's actually like several more hot days coming. Projects are like that too. You think you're over the hump, you think you've done it, and then, oh wait, no, it's going to get hard again. But you start to get a sense of the rhythms of it, and then you can trust the process. And then you can also enjoy the process because it's like the first time you go on a roller coaster, that specific roller coaster, you have no idea, is this going to be one of the ones where it's like this? Or is it going to be the ones that, right? But then once you've done it before, then you can kind of anticipate it and you know when to hold on tight and when you can just go with it, right? And you can kind of watch the other people that have never been on it before, how much scary it is for them. And so I think it's not quite sufficient to just say trust the process because it's hard to trust a process that you have not been through.
Yeah, that's so true. I think so. I've realized this very sort of tangibly. So I've made like 700 plus YouTube videos in my time, and I know that recording it always feels like a total shit show where I'm making so many mistakes and there's so much like crap in it.
Sure.
But I've done it enough times that I know the final product's going to be good because our editor's amazing.
Sure.
We'll chop out all the crap and we'll make it look amazing. But then when beginner YouTubers see the final result and then they see themselves recording and suddenly they're spluttering and swearing all the time. And you never see that raw, uncut version of a YouTuber's first take. You only see the final product. And so now that I've been through the process once with the book, knowing how crap the first draft was and then seeing the magic of editing over several months to trim it down and make it good, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't mind so much about having a crappy first draft now.
Well, yeah, you have your crappy first drafts. I actually have a shirt. There's a Hemingway quote, and he says, I have a print of it in my office. I have a shirt too, but he says, the first draft of everything is shit. And the conceit is that it's sort of showing how even that sentence, probably he didn't write it perfectly the first time. But the idea is that every first draft sucks, and you want to get comfortable with that. You have to get comfortable with the messiness of the process. But weirdly, as you get better, I do think your first drafts get less shitty or less wasteful, right? So like,